So in previous devlogs, I made the primary map and I set up the player basics, and I was like, I guess it's time to spice it up and test out the multiplayer. So I had almost no idea about networking, just a sniff of an idea. So I had to watch some tutorials and learn online, and one of the most helpful tutorials was by Wilson King. So shout out to him, I recommend you check him out, there will be links in the description. He used some capsules as characters, so we're going to throw that and use our SWAT player. So make sure guys you check our Discord server, there will be a link in the description, so join! So to do that, I imported the Photon Unity network system from the asset store. To set it up in my game, there is an available free version that you can make your own server on it. So Photon allows you to have many great options, so you can get any server capacity you need depending on what you're making, and guess which one we're getting? The free one. Yes, I'm broke. So as we got the free server, only 20 players can play at the same time, which is actually enough for me. I mean, I'm not making a commercial game. So as you can see, I started working on the server script, and because of my coding, I had to make changes on a lot of other scripts to separate players' controls from each other, such as the movement, cameras, etc. And now it is the time to test this out. So this is the first player, or the first view, and we're waiting for the other player to connect. I just built the project because it's considered as two machines, and here I connected so the other player can see the movements and doesn't interact with the other player behavior. And if we switch back to the other player, the same thing, I can move and see other player location. So the next day I started by setting up the RPCs, and to make it more easier, basically what RPC is, when you do an action on your player's view, we need it to be seen. So for example, if a player shoots, we need to send that information to the server, and the server send it to other players or specific players for that task to see that action, if that made any sense. So I edited my scripts and built a new project with a new modification. Then I connected both the exported game and the Unity game, and as I said earlier, they are considered as two players. And now, as you can also see, I'm shooting right now, and when I switch to the other player, I can see that he is shooting. The flash muzzle and the sound effects are reaching this player like we wanted it. And if we hit the player, he dies and falls on the ground. Great. And as everybody knows, all first-person view games let the player aware that he is taking damage, generally by using blood in the screen. So that's what we will try to do. So I went to Google and downloaded blood images to use. Then I imported them to Unity. It's not going to look that good, but it will work for now. So I changed it to 2D view in the scene and changed the color and the transparency of it. And I added an animation for the background. And as you can see, now I'm shooting the other player, and if I switch the view, I can see that the player is taking damage by showing blood in the screen. And yeah, that was all I did on that day. So at the beginning of the day, I started doing some behind the scenes stuff that you can't see physically, because I was fixing some bugs and doing some inferior structure. So as you can see, the character movement doesn't look realistic at all, because there is no animation, so I decided to jump ahead and start working on them. So I got a running animation from all sides, forwards, left, right and backwards, and I kept editing them until I could have a fixed hands position for smoother transition. And I made a script to control them, and I set up some triggers and booleans for that, but in the end I had to struggle with some new bugs, so it wasn't working on the view of other players, as you can see, while working fine in the primary view. So I took some time to fix it, and finally it was working as it should be. So he can move forward, right, left and backwards, and can also jump, which is great. After that, I jumped ahead to do the dead screen that appears when a player is killed. I just reused the damage screen and added "you are dead" message. Then I made the script to control all of that. And now, as you can see, you have the bloody screen when getting shot and dead message after 5 hits, but the health counter is not working. We need to fix that. And finally I managed to make it working, and every shot reduced the health by 20, and the counter's color turned red at 40, and it was already the end of the day. So I don't know if you noticed, but the player always spawns in the same place on this corner, and that's why I started making some new spawn points. I made around 15 around the map that generate randomly so no one knows where the player is coming from, and to do that I made a dirty switch method. As I said, my code is always It had like 14 different cases. And yup, now every time I reconnect, I spawn in a random position like I wanted to. And since I started fixing things for already existing feature, I decided to continue doing that. And thinking of that, I wanted to do the same thing after the player dies, because he just ended up like nothing really happened. And you guessed what I did. I fixed that, and now the player respawned in a random position after dying. And this is what it was looking so far. So now as you can see, if I switch to the other player and shoot this player, he spawned in a new position after reviving. Well, I guess that will be it for this devlog. It's already longer than usual. I wanted to share with you the progress. It's just a for fun game. I mean, I'm not taking anything serious here because I'm still learning, just to set in mind. Thank you guys for watching. Hope see you in the next video.